So two different skills, and we need different drills to learn them, but let's just start with the basics. We're trying to make sure that we find the wall before we find the shelf. Ideally, we find them together, but if you're in learning mode until you're actually sort of an elite technician, that doesn't mean to say you're an elite athlete, by the way. If you're an elite technician, then you can probably do both together. But we're trying to make sure that we go in where we reach, we've maximized our reach behind us, our length, that we haven't sort of shortened up, we haven't done anything to compromise the length of the stroke, the potential optimal length of the stroke, okay? So in order to do that, we need to be coming forwards, making sure that as we place the blade, we're at full compression. There are very few athletes that you'll find on videos, and certainly hardly ever in races, who actually achieve this by going in while they're fully compressed. Nearly everybody that you will see will be moving as they go in, losing effective length. And we've talked about that before. So if we're going to learn how to do this, if we're going to sort of introduce what I call a favoured flaw. In other words, if you're going to do this in an exaggerated way, this is what might go wrong. And I'm happy that it goes wrong because it means that you're exaggerating what I'm asking you to learn. So if we're trying to learn how to go in at the wall, then I would ask people to risk sitting still as they place the blade. In fact, they need to be sitting still, but exaggeratedly so. So if I'm talking to beginners or developers, I'll be asking them to slide forwards and to make sure that as they sit still at front stops, that's when they place their blades. The only movement in their body should be a hinging at the shoulder, at here, just allowing themselves to place the blade. I often mention the idea of imagining you're having your eyes tested, and you put your chin onto one of those test beds, just place the blade there. Then from this point here, then you can start coming back horizontally. So the placement at the wall happens by keeping the seat stationary. So what we need to talk about now is what happens after we've found this perfect placement, or at least the perfect position for the placement. So as we come forwards here and find that perfect position to place the blade, what's going to happen? Well, in a tank, until we start actually rowing a little bit and the water starts moving a bit, almost nothing. Place the blades, nothing happens. Fantastic, one of the great advantages of the tank. But in a boat, of course, you place the blade and the handles start moving because the boat is going past the spoons. So another favoured flaw, while we're trying to learn to be out here and place the blade first, is that there will be a sort of a certain amount of slippage. Don't worry about that. It's really important that you understand that that is something you can get rid of when you get better at it. And we'll learn how to get the drills to sort out the placement first, it's first priority, and then we start talking about how to lift the boat, pick up the run, and keep it going. But what we don't want to be doing is rushing into the stroke to try and be in a hurry. The boat isn't slowing down, to speak of, and as soon as we start pushing on the foot plate, we're slowing the boat down. So we want to try and avoid that. So, favoured flaw number one, we might sort of have some slight hesitation here while we're trying to find the shelf. Second favoured flaw is that there might be a certain amount of handle movement before we actually lock on or start the stroke. That's good.